Hi, it's Heather, and today is knitting update number 36 for Sunday, February 22nd, 2026. So, yesterday I had a mic malfunction, which, if you watched yesterday's video, you would have seen it. It's kind of funny because I thought I was doing a better thing by holding the mic up closer to my mouth. I don't necessarily think it was better, so today I'm back to clipped onto my shirt, and then my mic cut out and I didn't have any audio, but it didn't really matter because I wasn't really talking about anything important that I can't talk about today, and that is I am starting a new sweater. This one is to wear to the Nashville Yarn Fest, Nash Yarn Fest, which I'm going to in April with my mom, and then we're going to Dollywood. So I wasn't as whatever. I'm just gonna knit a new project for that trip, even though I don't think that Nash Yarn Fest is really something I need to knit a new sweater for. So it's kind of more for the trip and just because I have this yarn I want to use up. So I think that's actually more the motivating factor. But I'm knitting the Ghost Horse sweater, which is a pattern by Boylan Knitwork. So the sweater is kind of like a short or long sleeve color work, and it does have a round yoke, but the color work is, according to the pattern, it's supposed to be an all over color work pattern. I think the all over color work is nice, but to me it's really busy, and I think I'm just gonna I've seen a lot of people who've sort of simplified the color work part of the pattern and just did the yoke with and it kind of ended it at the horses, and I really like that. I think it's a little more, it's a little bit less busy, and I like that it draws more attention. The horses are more like the star of that one, whereas I feel like when it had the sweaters that have the all over color work, the horses kind of get lost in it. And a lot of people knit it because I guess the sample was knit in Spin Cycle, held either two different spin cycles or one, and then a solid yarn. That's the other thing. Like, normally I like color changing yarns. Like, I'm a huge fan of Noro, but I found with this pattern, it's a lot nicer to have just like two colors or maybe three. But, anyways, I'm doing mine in two colors. So I cast on the neckline and I already started. That's how far I am. So it's just a simple 2x2 rib. The only thing is, when I looked through Ravelry, I was kind of trying to get an idea if there were any issues that people had with the pattern. And the only issue I could really see was that the neckline is very big and kind of floppy. A lot of people said I ended up redoing it or ended up just starting with the yoke and then picking up stitches and doing the ribbing later to try to have a tighter fit, or other people said that they went back and threaded elastic through the ribbing because of how loose it was. And I've seen this with other Boylan Knitwork patterns, the Autumn Alpine or Alpine Bloom. I think whatever, both of those patterns, there's like a summer version and a winter version, but I was looking at doing that with this yarn as well because I think they're both sport weight patterns, and I do really like the Alpine Bloom. But both of them, that one too has like a sloppy looking neckline. And my mom made that sweater. It's so pretty, but I don't know why the necklines are always they're too loose. I cast on the amount of stitches for the smallest size, which is 120 stitches. And then I think that I want to knit the size 4. That was the other issue I had. There's a lot of nice finished objects, and this pattern has like 1,400 projects on Ravelry, which is a lot, but the majority of the pictures that are posted are just like flat lays of the sweater, or the sweater like being blocked, or the sweater just hanging on a hanger. Not a lot of pictures of people wearing it, and then the pictures of people wearing it, quite often it looks almost like negative ease. They're very tight fitting, which that's not how I want mine to fit. So I scrolled through a bunch. I was hoping to find at least one that looked to have a bit more positive ease so I could see what that look like, but I couldn't really find any, unfortunately. I think I found one, and a lot of people seem to make the size 3 and it was very tight fitting. So I did knit up a gauge swatch. I didn't do it the way you're supposed to. I didn't knit it in the round. I didn't block it or anything, but I just wanted a rough idea of how close my gauge was going to be. And with this, because I'm also not using a sport weight yarn, I'm using a fingering plus lace weight, like a mohair tweed. I'll talk about the yarn in a second. And I also don't have the proper needle sizes. So I did my swatch holding the 2 yarns together on a 3.75 millimeter, and I actually was able to get gauge perfectly. I don't think that's ever happened to me before, but yeah, even just, I know it's not like 100% accurate because I just knit like a stockinette square and then measured it, and it was right on the money. But if anything, I knit my color work. I'm a pretty loose color work knitter, so I think I can trust that. And I want the sweater to be a bit bigger, so I think I'm fine with measuring my gauge that way, and I feel confident. So I'm gonna knit the size 4. I cast on. But I cast on for the size 1, and I'm also using 2 millimeter needles for the neckline. And even then, I was kind of worried that it still looked like it might be loose and floppy, but now that I've knit a bit more, I feel pretty confident it'll look good and that it will be tight enough. So once I switch over to the bigger needles, and I think I'll switch to the main color, then I have to work in increasing it to the proper amount of stitches for the size 4. But I'll figure that out when I get to it, which I think it's only supposed to be an inch of ribbing, so I might even be at that now. So I'll talk about the yarn, which I talked about yesterday. So you probably did kind of see it in the video, but there's no audio and I sped it up. So if you've seen some of my older videos, you'll know that I bought a bunch of this, 3 skeins of this Shibui Tweed Silk Cloud in this bone colorway. And my plan was to hold it with this Malintosh Twist Light Merino. Sorry, it's not Twist Light. It's Tosh Merino Light in the colorway Optic. And my plan was to hold the 2 of them together and knit a vest, and then my husband kind of talked me out of that vest pattern. So then I went back to, and I found a different vest that I wanted to knit, but I didn't think I would have enough yarn. So I went back to the yarn shop that carried this, which is a discontinued yarn, to see if they had any more of it. Unfortunately, they didn't have more of this colorway, but they did have this colorway. Which is tar. It's kind of like a charcoaly, but I feel like it leans a little bit blue, like almost like a petroleum, like an oil slick. It is very dark. So I bought 2 skeins of this, thinking I would do a vest and do, the light color for the body, and then the darker color for like contrast ribbing or whatever. And I was gonna hold it with this Malintosh Tosh Merino Light in the colorway Onyx, which I've had in my stash forever, and I would do a vest that were these colors. The more I thought about it, the more I didn't like the idea of doing a light colored vest with dark contrast ribbing around the edges. I feel like I had the option, obviously, to do something striped, but I didn't really want to do that either. And then I started thinking maybe I should just do a color work project. Since I started doing textured knits, I feel like I've kind of, I don't want to say I've sworn off color work, but I don't like color work that much. I've come to realize I really like doing like textured knitting. But I find color work can be, I make too many mistakes. I just don't enjoy it. It's awkward to hold the 2 strands. I do use both hands, but I just don't like having to do it, even though probably it's a good skill to work on. But so I've kind of been avoiding color work projects, but then when I thought about this Nashville trip, and it's also the year of the horse, so I thought it could be fun to do this horse sweater. And I do like this pattern. I've seen it around. I never really thought about making it, but I always thought it was kind of fun. So now I'll make it, and I'm going to use these colors. I have 2 or 1.5, 1 and probably more than a half skeins of this colorway, the Onyx Optic, and I have only 1 and a little bit of the Onyx, and I have 3 skeins of the Bone colorway of the mohair. It's a mohair silk, and then 3 skeins of the tar colorway of the mohair silk. When I was thinking about it this morning, I kind of feel like I probably don't have enough of the Onyx, like the black colorway of the Malintosh yarn. So that was making me sort of, like, not anxious, but yeah, so the second skein, I really only have this much. I haven't weighed it, but that's obviously not enough. This one isn't even a full skein, and like the size difference is quite noticeable. So I did think I probably have something in my stash I can use, like either another, like maybe add a third color to the mix, but I probably don't have a matching silk mohair because I don't really have a lot of silk mohair on hand. I do have a lot of Suri alpaca, which maybe I could substitute, but it is a bit thicker. But then I also do have like the 3 skeins of the tar, so do I really need, I don't even know if that's going to be enough, but do I need more? So I did find that I had 2 mini skeins of this black alpaca sock yarn, so it's a fingering weight. It is hand dyed, so it's definitely doesn't look exactly like the Malintosh. Also, because the Malintosh is a single ply and this one is at least 2 ply, but it's not far off. And then held with the silk mohair, I think that will kind of make it look more similar. And honestly, I'm just going to use it for the ribbing. So it doesn't have to be a perfect match. I think I'm actually going to use it in the sweater too, but maybe just for like one section of like one motif or something, and then switch it out to the Malintosh. I don't think it'll be that noticeable, but at least it'll be kind of broken up in a way so it can look intentional. Anyways, whatever, it's not a big deal. So that is what I'm going to be working on. I'm also going to work on my White Mountains. It's really close to being done, but I just want to get started on this because I did see a lot of people saying that it was a labor of love, which makes me think it might take a little bit, and I don't want to be leaving it till the last minute. Although someone did finish it in like less than 2 weeks. I don't know if I'm going to push myself to try to finish it in less than 2 weeks, but I have almost 2 months to make it, so I'm going to work on it now. Anyways, that's it for today. Hopefully my mic worked, but I think I learned my lesson that I will check the video before I finish for the day so I can re-record this if I need to. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.